Hi everybody, I'm Mike with Budget Guns and Gear Reviews, and this is a brief look at the fighting pistol class from Tactical Response. Stick around, maybe we'll learn something together. So on May 15th and 16th, 2021, I was in Camden, Tennessee for the Tactical Response fighting pistol class. And let me tell you, spoiler alert here, I really liked it. I started off on the 14th, which was my birthday, and drove from Ohio to Tennessee. Stayed the night at the Colonial Inn, I think is what it was called, in Camden. Certainly far superior to the Super 8 in St. Clair, Missouri, for sure. I got the special tactical response rate, so make sure when you call and reserve your hotel room, you tell them you're taking a tactical response class. You'll get some money knocked off. I think it was like $75 a night. So, you know, I can't complain about my lodgings whatsoever. There are also other lodging options available, so check into those as well. Day one, we met up at Tactical Response, and in the classroom, we accounted for everybody who was supposed to be taking the class, and then we left Camden to go about 15 minutes away to the Tactical Response range. Once we got there, we did the standard safety briefing, going over the 4 rules of firearm safety, etc., etc. Then we got right into doing some drills. We started off with the draw stroke, and it just went from there. How to properly present the gun, and he touched up with everybody who needed some touch up on their fundamentals of trigger control, follow through, breathing, sight alignment, sight picture, all that good stuff. It should be noted that James Yeager did not teach the class. You have to understand that the philosophy is that there are no superstars. Tactical Response is not about James Yeager. Tactical Response is about training gunfighters, and that's huge. I personally didn't go there to talk to the YouTube star. You know, I didn't even go there to be a YouTube guy. I went there to be a student. I went there to train. I went there to brush up and broaden my skill base, and I did that. The instructors that James has working for him are good at their jobs. They know what they're doing. They are dedicated people who will do whatever they can to make sure that you understand the material, to make sure that you learn something, to make sure that you walk away from there being a better gunfighter. One thing that you need to be aware of before you go, though, if you are easily offended, if you are that special snowflake who has to have everything politically correct, if you are that thin-skinned prima donna type person, yeah, you probably shouldn't go to Tactical Response. I'm just saying, they are not politically correct. You will be exposed to foul language. You will be exposed to crudity and crassness. But you will also be exposed to top-tier pistol instruction. One of the things that they try the hardest to instill is the warrior mindset. They phrase it as walking the martial path. The concept that you, in order to protect yourself and your loved ones, have to be willing to be that warrior, have to be willing to do whatever it takes to make sure you prevail in that gunfight. They're not going to pull any punches on political correctness because, well, bad guys sure as hell don't, right? What they are going to do is teach you to be a better gunfighter. Now notice I keep using the word gunfighter in the phrase gunfighting because that's what this class is. That's what this school is. It is not a shooting academy. It is not there to help you with recoil mitigation and getting your splits down to shaving off tenths and hundreds and thousands of a second off of your split times. And it's not about shooting the tiniest little groups possible. Yes, they will assist students in correcting errors in their fundamentals. Yes, they will improve their student shooting, but that's not what it is. It's a gunfighting class. So make sure you go into it with that mindset. You know, you're not going there to become a better 3-gunner. You're going there to be a better gunfighter. So day one, as I said, we did a lot of drills. There was extensive use of dummy rounds in your magazines, which, by the way, bring 5 or 6 of them at least. You're going to need them. Magazines, that is. Because you students load dummy rounds into their magazines, and you will get practice clearing a malfunction. You know, they tell you there's only 2 ways to clear a malfunction. Tap rack, and if that doesn't work, reload. They have their own way of teaching it, and it works. That's all I can tell you. Day 2, we met at the classroom, and we were there for 4 hours for a lecture, which we watched on video. It was a lecture given by James Yeager. It was an important part of the class. Even though it was done via video, there are a couple things. Number one, there were live instructors present to answer any questions that you had, and they gave you ample opportunity to ask questions. Number two, they made sure that every student watched every second of the video. If someone needed a restroom break, we stopped, took a break, came back, and then resumed right where we are. That way no one misses anything because, again, the information is important. James did stop by during the lecture and gave everybody an opportunity to ask questions and make sure that they understood everything. After the lecture, we were released for lunch, and after lunch, we met back at the range for the completion of the shooting portion of the class. James was at the range on this second day when we got back from lunch, and again, he made it a point to speak to every student, talk to them individually, make sure that they understood everything, give them an opportunity to ask questions. Hell, he even gave me an interview, which we'll watch here after a bit towards the end of the video. And then, you know, after that, lunch resumed and we continued. The day was interspersed with mini lectures in between each of the drills to explain what we were doing and what the underpinnings of it was, why we were doing it. So day two, we worked on the different ready positions. We worked on shooting on the move. We worked on the effective use of cover and the difference between cover and concealment and all kinds of stuff. It was a really good class. There was a lot of shooting involved, but more important, as I said, was the mental aspect of it, the mindset of it. Be aware, they do some things differently at Tactical Response than other shooting ranges and other classes do. For one that sticks out in my mind is they run a hot range. You know, anything else, go check out the class. You know, that's what I'm going to tell you. So who should go? Well, James answers that himself in this interview. So here we are at Tactical Response with James Yeager. I've been taking the class yesterday and we're going to finish it up today. I know why we need to come here, having been here, but James, can you tell these guys why they need to come?
Not everybody needs to come here.
Okay.
I'm picky about who we train. And like I've done videos before and talked about this, but not everybody deserves to be here. There are a whole bunch of people that are closed-minded or they don't walk the martial path and they shouldn't be here. But if you are walking the martial path, if you do want to be a better gunfighter, we don't teach shooting here. We teach gunfighting. If you want to be a better gunfighter, a better protector for your family, your community, then you should train here.
What do you think is the single most important thing that someone with that attitude can learn here?
Mindset. A proper fighting mindset and everything that goes along with it. Mindset, tactics, skill, gear is the least important. It's the thing we think about the most. Mindset, the most important, are alertness, aggressiveness, coolness, decisiveness. All those things are what makes us different than every other school.
Well, there you have it, folks. James Yeager, Tactical Response. So I'm Mike, this is Budget Guns and Gear Reviews, and that was my brief overview of the Tactical Response Fighting Pistol class. If you like what you saw, please like, share, subscribe. Consider becoming a patron on my Patreon account. If you don't do Patreon, consider hitting that join button below and becoming a channel member. Every little bit helps me bring content like this to you. And as always, come on back. Maybe we'll learn something together.